Need to put out a narrow beam of light for up to 1 kilometre or so? Something powerful, comfortable to hold with enough lumens to blind an intruder, as well as a serrated edge to break glass or other things. Something as at home on the end of a rifle as it is handheld. You'll be wanting the AceBeam L19 2.0 Tactical Long Throw Flashlight. I'm James Bruce, you're watching MUO Reviews, let's do this. As you can probably tell from the videos, we opted to look at the green version of the L19 2.0. Now this refers to the beam colour, not the flashlight body, obviously, which is currently only available in black. There's actually 3 versions of this flashlight, though the green has the longest throw distance. So you have green with a 1,520 metre beam distance at 2,200 lumens. You also have white SFT40 version with 1,023 metre throw and again 2,200 lumens. Then you have white PM1 with a 1,300 metre throw and 1,650 lumens. But why is there a green option at all, you might ask? Both red and green are common for tactical flashlights where hunting is a primary use case. Animals with dichromate vision like foxes and deer are supposedly colourblind to green and red light, so it's less likely to spook them. However, this is only true if you're not blasting them with 2,000 lumens, regardless of the colour. Science tells us that human eyes are more sensitive to the green light wavelength, allowing us to more easily pick up shapes, even with relatively little green light. This might be an evolutionary trait, something to do with identifying different shades of foliage. It's also said that green light attracts less bugs, like mosquitoes. That one seems to veer more into the urban myth territory though, especially when actual studies have shown they prefer green light. Still, regardless of what the truth is about green or red hunting flashlights, the green version of the AceBeam L19 2.0 is brighter and has the longest throw, should you need to target things over 1 kilometre away. So inside the box you'll find the L19 2.0 flashlight itself, a durable woven nylon carry case with an open bottom, like that, a USB-C charging cable with a curious additional pass-through port, a wrist strap, a single 21,700 format battery with 51,100 mAh capacity, some spare O-rings and a spare switch cover. If you're stressing over having to buy yet another specialist battery recharging device, then stop. Spin the battery around and you'll actually find a USB-C port built in on the side here. Yep, you can charge this swappable battery directly. You still need to remove the battery from the flashlight body in order to access that charging point, but I think that's a pretty neat feature actually, that still allows you to buy spare batteries for hot swaps and has all of the convenience of USB charging. Replacements of this exact battery are less than $20, so you might even want to pick up a spare if you decide to buy. Just bear in mind though that if you do buy spare 21700 batteries elsewhere, they won't necessarily have that USB-C charging feature built in. That's not a standard feature of that battery format, it just relates to the size. So it's best to buy direct from AceBeam if you do want the best compatibility and that built-in charging circuit. In terms of optional extras, you can also purchase a Picatinny rail mount adapter, which allows you to quickly screw this onto a pick rail, though you will need a hex screw tool to remove the adapter from the body of the L19. So if you want to quickly switch between mounted and handheld, that may not be the best. You can also get a tactical switch to operate the flashlight closer to the trigger or wherever, rather than fiddling with the side button. So this 2.0 version of the L19 superficially has some upgrades. So the switches and the bezels are now black coated to reduce the likelihood of reflecting light when you're concealed. They were shiny silver before, but other than that, there's not a big design deviation from the classic L19 style. At 6.44 inches long, the tube is 1 inch diameter, while the head is 2.3 inches diameter, and it all weighs around 10 ounces or 285 grams, including the battery. It features a comfortable grip with 2 protrusions on either end and anti-slip grooves, so it's easy to hold and doesn't require an extra handle to be fitted. It also never gets too hot, so it's very comfortable for extended use. The tactical ring on the back here is technically removable should you not want it, but the only reason you would want to do that is if you need to take it out of the case quickly. Sometimes it can catch on the bottom here, but mostly you should probably leave that on. The L19 2.0 is IP68 rated. It's waterproof to 5 meters, though it's not a dive light, and it has 1 meter drop resistance, but there should be no trouble using this in the rain. It has a serrated strike bezel on the front here, should you need to break glass in case of an emergency. In terms of brightness, it ranges from a 1 lumen moonlight mode all the way up to 2200 lumens turbo mode, with other standard modes available of 100, 300, 620 and 1200 lumens, as well as a strobe mode at 1100 lumens, like that. However, you can safely ignore strobe mode if you don't want it, because it requires a specific button press sequence to access and isn't a part of the standard mode cyclings and UI. Speaking of operation then, there are actually 2 buttons to operate the L19 2.0. So the first and simplest is the end cap latching switch here. This is a simple on-off, and it gets you straight to turbo mode. That's it. There's no menu system. It's just on-off, maximum brightness. And furthermore, when this is on, the switch on the side will not do anything. So this locks out the other control. So moving on then, there's this side button, and this operates using the same user interface as any other AceBeam flashlight that I've tried so far. In that, a single long press takes you to ultra-low moonlight mode, that 1 lumen, about as weak as you can get it really, you can't see it, while another long press while on will cycle through standard modes, like that. And at any point you can press it once to turn it on and off, and it will remember the last standard mode that you were in. So you can double tap this button on the side to get directly to turbo mode, or you can triple tap to get to strobe. Now, I did also mention that tactical switch that you can replace for the end. So this screws off and then you screw the tactical switch on instead, and it sort of duplicates both of those buttons. One is a standard menu button and the other is a turbo button. However, it's only momentary, so you have to press down and to keep it on. Now, since flashlights can be dangerous in the wrong hands, potentially blinding people or even starting fires, there is also a lockout mode by which you hold down the side button for 5 seconds and then that will lock the device. So then no matter what I press, it won't turn on. So like all turbo modes on flashlight, the 2200 full turbo mode is only available for a limited time. In this case, it's 1 minute 50 seconds. Then it drops to 1600 lumens for 10 minutes and 1200 lumens for an hour and a half. On the other end of the spectrum though, the 1 lumen moonlight mode should run continuously for 62 days. Now, although the beam distance is a stated 1.5 kilometers, realistically the light you get at 1.5 kilometers is not going to be useful for any human eye. You might be able to detect the light that far out using your instruments, but you won't be shooting that far away anyway, of course. But it is just a metric by which you can compare flashlights, and this is the brightest, longest throw of any flashlight in this class. So is the AceBeam L19 2.0 the tactical light for you? It's lightweight and comfortable enough for either handheld use, mounted to a rifle, or even on a fast helmet, without adding any noticeable heft or being uncomfortable. It's one of the brightest flashlights in its class, though you probably won't want to use the turbo mode to hunt, because 2200 lumens of any color is going to spook your quarry. The beam is tight, but certainly not as tight as you can get from some laser-excited phosphor or LEP flashlights. But the price is rather irresistible at just $120. That said, if price is no object and you don't particularly need something mountable, you just want bright, then I'd actually recommend the X80 GT2. You can see my review of that and what it's capable of doing down in the description. I think a bright floodlight for most people is going to be more useful ultimately than a handheld lightsaber. It's certainly fun, but it's not that practical outside of specific use cases. All right, I hope I've told you what you need to know about the L19 2.0 and whether it's the right tactical long throw flashlight for you. If I did, please hit like. If not, please let me know what I can do better down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe for more weekly gadget reviews and the occasional giveaway from all of us over at makeuseof.com. Until next time, stay safe.